Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Ryan, and we own Green Zone Health and Fitness. And one of the most common questions that we've been getting from clients recently is, what do you think about the blood type diet? So Ryan and I wanted to try to do our best to answer that question with science.
Right, so our goal during this video is to show you enough fact-based evidence for you to come to your own conclusion about the blood type diet created by Peter Diademo.
His theory behind the diet is that by matching the dietary habits of your ancestors based on your blood type will improve your health and decrease chronic disease.
Right, so there's 4 different blood types, and he recommends a different diet for each one of those blood types. So the type O person should eat a lot of protein for meat and kind of limit the grains, beans, and dairy. Type A person should be mostly a vegan diet. Type B should eat green vegetables, eggs, certain meats, and low-fat dairy. And AB should eat tofu, seafood, dairy, and green vegetables. But don't forget, he's got a whole line of supplements, that he's going to sell you based on your blood type as well.
So to look at the science behind the diet, let's go back to 1996 when Dr. Diademo released the best-selling book, Eat Right for Your Type.
Right, so initially there was a ton of criticism from the medical community disputing the link between blood type and his dietary requirements. His response was, I'm beginning the 8th year of a 10-year trial on reproductive cancers using the blood type diets. By the time I release the results in another 2 years, I expect to make it scientifically demonstrable that the blood type diet plays a role in cancer remission.
Well, it's been 20 years and he still hasn't released his findings, but luckily for us, the research community has continued to look into it. In 2013, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition screened over 1,400 studies and found no evidence to support the reported health benefits of the blood type diet. However, they did recommend that more research needs to be done to be conclusive.
Dr. Ahmed El-Sohimi is one of those people that wanted to research the theory further, and he's very interested in the claim, wanted to put it to the test. After his study, the doctor stated, based on the data, 1,455 study participants, we found no evidence to support the blood type diet theory. He goes on to state that the way an individual responds to any one of these diets has absolutely nothing to do with their blood type and has everything to do with their ability to stick to a sensible vegetarian or low carbohydrate diet.
According to Dr. El-Sohimi, we can now be confident in saying that the blood type diet hypothesis is false. But you can't just take one study at face value, so it's important to look at it from a different scientific perspective, the evolution of the human diet.
Right, so let's talk about the people with type O blood, because according to Dr. Diademo, he recommends they eat a high protein diet, heavy on meat, and light on grains, beans, and dairy. He makes this recommendation because he believes people with type O blood had early ancestors that were hunter-gatherers. But is that really what hunter-gatherers ate?
No. It is true that hunter-gatherers craved meat more than any other food, but according to new studies, they usually only got around 30% of their annual calories from animals. So most also endured lean times where they eat less than a handful of meat each week.
Professor of anthropology, Dr. Allison Brooks, is quoted saying, everybody thinks you wander out in the savannah and there are antelopes everywhere just waiting for you to bonk them on the head. But in reality, over 70% of their diet came from plants. Most of the time, the hunters were not successful, so they relied on the foragers to bring back plants to sustain them in the rough times. When the hunt was actually successful, they fed the entire group off the animal in many meals. So that means they all had small portions. Nobody was eating a full steak at a dinner.
So why would Dr. Diademo recommend that people with type O blood, or any blood type for that matter, eat a diet high in protein, high in meat? To further illustrate why this point doesn't make any sense, let's look at the full picture of the human dietary evolution.
Right, so when you're looking at this evolutionary timeline, the red circle represents about 200,000 years ago, which is when we started to be hunters. when you think about that on the timeline of the evolutionary scale of humans, that's just minuscule, because the real evolution happened for the 2+ million years before that, where we ate nothing but plants, bugs, things we foraged, scavenged off of larger animal kills, things like that.
During those millions of years, we developed long digestive tracts compared to that of a meat eater. The long digestive tract of a human is made to pull every possible nutrient from the hard to digest fibrous plants, nuts, and seeds. The human digestive tract is actually 10 to 12 times longer than our torso. The meat-eating carnivore, however, requires a much shorter digestive tract and colon because the nutrients from its diet are easier to break down. A carnivore's tract is actually 3 to 6 times longer than its torso compared to that of a human. So it's obvious that we are not designed to eat the over 300 pounds of meat that the average American is eating every single year.
Exactly, and if you add in the fact that our meat and dairy is loaded with pesticides, hormones, antibiotics, which is causing all kinds of problems in our bodies, it's just a horrible scenario, but we're off track. So that is a whole nother topic for another video that we're going to do here shortly.
So the bottom line is a diet consisting of high quality carbohydrates like fruits, grains, and vegetables should be your main source of energy. 60% of your calories should come from carbs. Yes, carbs are not the enemy.
Right.
So the rest of your diet should obviously come from protein and fat. So 20% protein, 20% fat. And this macro breakdown is essential for not only sustainability, but also optimal digestion and really body function, right? If you don't know what your current breakdown is, that's easy to figure out. You track it. MyFitnessPal is a great tool to do this.
Right, we use it almost every day. So we track our food almost every single day. And we've also created hundreds of meal plans for clients all around the world, and have literally seen their bodies change using this macro breakdown. Most of their feedback is how surprised they are that they're able to eat that much food, but remember, it's quality food like this, fruits, vegetables, good grains, things like that. And they're still able to lose weight and gain muscle mass.
Yep. So look, there's a lot of diets out there. There's a lot of fad diets out there, and it takes time and it takes hard work to do your research on all of them. So hopefully this video helps clear up some of the misconceptions about the growing popularity in the blood type diet. You know, make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we are going to be doing more talks like this one on more of the popular fad diets out there to help you guys out.
Yeah, definitely. And we've also included all of the links to the scientific studies and the journals that we mentioned throughout this video. So if you want to go ahead and read up on any of those, feel free. And as always, feel free to ask us any questions, comment, shoot us an email, anything. We're here to help.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.